position in the world?
Children are our greatest gift because they are the continuation of our lives and our reason for being. Everything centers around the child in the home, in the community, and in the tribe, in the larger group, because that child will one day be the leader of the people. That child will become the person who carries on the teachings and everything that we have lived and are living for. And so a child is always nurtured. A child is treated very special. We don't physically or mentally abuse our children. Our children they're given to us, and our sole purpose is to keep that child happy and to teach what we know, and not to do it in a way that the child would resent it or want to change the fundamentals of it. The children are always treated with the first respect. The most important people in any tribe in the whole continent that I've seen are babies and old people, because the old people carry the wisdom, and the babies will continue one day to be the old people, and everyone else in between is responsible for respecting and taking care of these two entities.
It's completely opposite of what it is now in the West. All the middle part is there, you know, in importance, and all the rest is...
Is that similar to you?
Oh yeah, very much so.
I think so. I found that all across the continent, our people feel the same way about children. Children are a gift from God. You are fortunate enough to be able to carry that life with you, within you. You are fortunate enough to be able to bring forth that life, and even further than that, you receive the gift of teaching that life and nurturing that child into a being that will eventually teach the rest.
Why do you think the Western women have become so much, we could say, almost against childbearing and having children, and sort of, how could I say, quite dried up in that sense?
Now you're asking me to be racist.
No, this is quite
I'm
a
not
fact.
sure.
We have a very small family.
Because I think the non-native cultures have strayed so far from their own beginnings that they no longer understand who, what, or why they are, I think.
The Christian church had a lot to do with this reversal. In order to spread the doctrine of Christianity, they had to suppress the existing natural religions of Europe, so that in the natural religions of Europe was very much like ours, in that the women had healing powers. They had the mystery of power of giving life, so that they were people to be feared. And in order to overcome that fear, you have to suppress that which you fear. So you suppressed women. And that suppression spread with the spread of Christianity. And in various degrees, in various cultures that Christianity took hold, that suppression either took very harsh measures, or, you know, in the witch hunts. It was all the fact that these women who had been brought up in a natural way, even though they were Christians, had inherited the skills of herbology and healing, and the healing that we do that we have as gifts in the way of spirituality, spiritual healing, these people had, so that they were deemed as witches. And that just created a whole pogrom against women, and suppressed women to this day. Women are trying to overcome that suppression. And it all has to do with male supremacy, and which does not exist in any natural culture.
And because it's unnatural, it's become a sickness, a disease. And when you get a disease, the only logical thing to do about that disease is remove it. And this is what the feminist movements and the women's liberation movements are trying to do, is to cure that disease. But you can't cure sickness with sickness, you see. And they haven't learned to understand that, again, I have to repeat, a woman is nothing without a man, and a man is nothing without a woman, because the Creator put us here to complement us, one another, to be one complete whole. And this is how creation is. It's very logical, very simple. And I women's liberation and the feminist movement totally escapes me, because I have no need of it. It's very simple, very logical. I don't understand why people are so mystified by it.
There is actually, in Western world, there is so much, for example, men fear about women, and also other way around, and also domination, very much suppressing domination.
Because they fear even themselves, their own mothers, their own fathers, their own children. They live with fear. It's like death and life. You are born to die. When you come into this world, it's a given fact that ultimately you will leave this world. It's logical, it's a fact, it's unchangeable, but people do not want to look at this, and so they fear death, which is really dumb, because it's going to happen anyway. And they fear birth. Why? And this is why the birth control and all of these abortion movements and things like that. We had birth control in our communities, in our societies, natural birth control, and just like in the animal world. If there's famine, animals will not give birth to more than one at a time. And when it has evened itself out again, you'll find that, just take for instance wolves, instead of having one pup, as it evens itself out, it will have 2, or she will have 4 or 5, according to what is natural and what is going to bring back the balance of nature. The Creator does not make mistakes.
Yeah. I guess it's about everything for this night now.
Okay, good.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you very much.